This is amazing South Korea. Hey there, good afternoon, how's it going? Today is Saturday, November 8th, 2025. Currently 61 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 16 degrees Celsius. A cloudy and somewhat cool day today, but very pleasant here in Gyeongju. My hotel just a block down the street that way. So the plan for today is to hopefully catch an Uber out of the city here to an ancient temple. I think 20 to 30 minutes or so outside of town, and then come back and show more of the town and the surrounding historical sites, which are really quite remarkable. I will give a taste of them in just a second. Just wanted to show this nice area of various restaurants. We have a salon right here. Down there is a pedestrian zone. Right there, you probably can't see, but it says Golden Street. I think it is called the Golden City, because it was the capital of an empire that ruled over the Korean peninsula from the 1st century AD to the 10th century AD for around 1,000 years. And there are many remains of that empire that are in quite good condition. I'm sure some have been rebuilt, but yesterday evening, then I went on a walk out to a temple just on the edge of town with a nice lake, and wandered through this area, which is straight up ahead, of all of these tombs, and you are starting to see the tombs right now. They are these little mound hills, burial mounds for people from that empire, presumably royals or otherwise important and powerful people. So there, and as you can see, more of them that way. And so this whole area out here is all a historical area. It was free to enter until you got to the I think it was maybe Donggung temple, and there you had to pay, but it was only 3,000 Korean won, which is like $2. And so I will very likely get out there again later, but I want to get this mission accomplished first, get that done. I don't know how long all of this is going to take, and then come back and show more of the town. As you can see, major traffic here on a Saturday. All right, time to get on the Uber thing and then have a nice day in Korea, showing the history, the culture, the landscapes, and we shall see what else. So here we go, one day in South Korea. And look at these little rooms. I'm not entirely certain, but I think they are probably bus stops for staying out of the weather, rain, cold, etc. All right, traffic sort of easing up a bit here, so maybe right up here is a good place to call an Uber. And what is this? Wow. Okay, so a temple there. Is that the one that I'm going to? Not sure. Mountain there. What an incredible display here. It goes around it, and then here we have something from the old kingdom, I believe, or maybe it's more recent. Let's see if we got some English here. Yes. Silla Big Bell was made by reproducing the sacred bell of Great King Seongdeok, national treasure. The sacred bell of Great King Seongdeok started being made in the period of King Gyeongdeok of Silla and was completed in the 7th year of King Gyeong, so 771 AD. Since then, the bell had been ringing in Seorabeol for about 1200 years. Oh, and some sort of a Saturday market, I guess, going on. So speaking of culture, okay, let's pop in here before I call the Uber. And yes, I'm going to use the crosswalk and wait for the green. We have a long wait. 85 seconds. That's just forever. A very busy day today, so that is actually kind of nice to see. I'm glad that it isn't a ghost town. It was kind of a ghost town last night when I went out to find dinner Friday night, so I was thinking it was going to be busy in that pedestrian area. But no, it was very quiet, and the restaurant where I ate dinner the night before last, because I didn't film yesterday, I spent the day catching up with the editing, and so the night that I first arrived, then I went to this nice little sort of hole-in-the-wall place and got a bowl of ramen noodles with various things in it that was quite good. And so yesterday I went out and that place was closed, which was kind of surprising to me on a Friday evening, and then plus the fact that it was just super quiet in general. And so I'm walking around trying to find somewhere else to eat, and was just not having any luck.
경주에는 황리단길이라는 유명한 전통시장 거리가 있다. 맞으면 O, 틀리면 X. 저는 계속 말씀드렸습니다만은.
So what sort of stuff do we have?
여기가 X예요. 여기가 O고 여기가 X.
It's not food. I'm not seeing any food so far. Jewelry.
여기가 X예요. 다시 한번 설명드립니다. 경주에는 황리단길이라는 유명한
little kids toys.
여기가 X예요.
Hello.
여기가 O고 여기가 X예요. 여기가 O고 여기가 X예요.
Okay, there we got some snacks.
X예요. X. 아, 축하드립니다. X 정답.
Paint. They're selling paint. Okay. Post APEC 2025 Korea. Interesting. The APEC summit was in Busan, actually. Images of various places in South Korea.
4, 3, 2,
So
1 여기까지 가도록 하겠습니다. 정답은
I'm walking around trying to find just kind of any old restaurant to eat at.
살고 있고요. 북극에는 북극곰만 있죠.
Although
자, 이제 드디어 탈락자가
I was in the mood for a burger. I actually searched for burger on my phone before heading out, but nothing really came up as a real burger restaurant.
나는 패자부활전을 해도 괜찮다. 머리 위로 동그라미 하겠습니다. 자, 손 내려주시고 패자부활전 나는 하겠다. 제 앞으로 보이시죠. 패자부활전.
Here we got the food, although it's just like honey and little snacky things.
우리 친구들만 나온 거예요? 우리 한번 어떻게 해야 된다고 했죠? 엄마 아빠 데리고 와야 된다고 했죠. 엄마 아빠 데리고 오세요. 네?
And so I'm walking around and restaurants are closed or just not really looking like what I was interested in, but not really finding much in the way of restaurants at all. Finally, I come across this one restaurant. People are standing outside. I'm kind of looking in it, trying to figure out what it is, and the guy says to me, "Can I help you?" in very good English. And so I say, "Yeah, I might like to eat at this restaurant." And he checks to make sure they're open because it is right at 8 o'clock. And it looks like they're basically just closing up. But he says, "Yes, you can eat in there." And so I go in, and then it's a Korean barbecue. And that's a whole operation. I did that once on Jeju Island my last time in South Korea. They bring out like 15 different dishes. I mean, it's something to do with a group of people, really. And so he's telling me that I need to choose which kind of steak I'm going to get, and I just wasn't in the mood for trying to decide that one decision to begin with, plus just this whole operation of the Korean barbecue experience. It just wasn't the right time. I just wanted something quick and easy. So I say, I think I'll pass on this, and so leave. And then I'm still walking around, just not finding anything. My expectations are getting lower and lower, like I'll just go for whatever at this point. And then I decide to look for Lotteria, which is the burger place that I ate at in Busan. And so I look on my phone for Lotteria, and it turns out there's one 150 feet away from me. So I walk over there and get a cheeseburger and fries and all that. So we'll see what's open today. Okay, time to get to a good spot. This might be a good enough spot to order an Uber. Let's give it a try. So I'm at the Bulguksa temple. That is it there. Here is some information. Gyeongju, Bulguksa. The construction of this temple was begun by Prime Minister Kim Dae-seong in 751, the 10th year of King Gyeongdeok, and completed in 774, the 10th year of King Hyeogong. The temple served as a center of Silla Buddhism and of prayer for the protection of the country from foreign invasion. The entire temple was burnt down by Japanese invaders in 1593, the 26th year of Joseon King Seonjo, because the temple was used as a base of the volunteer militia. Though the main hall and a few other principal buildings were rebuilt, it was not until 1969 to 73 that it was completely restored after thorough research, investigation, and excavations of the ancient temple site. Important cultural properties from the unified Silla period, and so the Silla is that kingdom that existed for 1,000 years. It is free to enter and very busy today.
벌레 해?
Wow. Very, very busy. Loving the fall colors and the cooler temperatures. I'm not sweating away. The cool weather is nice and invigorating. I'm actually looking forward to it getting colder. I'm starting to slightly overheat a little bit with this long sleeve shirt on and the socks. Maybe take the socks off and then I should be perfect. Okay, so you can't go up these steps, but you can get up there, so looks like maybe you go around this way. So here is the entrance. What is this? Some sort of swimming creature. Okari sweat accomplished. 3,001. That is about $2. Let's wander down here. Looks like there's a lake and lots of colorful trees. So I'm now at the Donggong Palace and Wolji Pond, part of the old kingdom. Caught the Uber there, another 20 minutes or whatever, back to town. Starting to sprinkle a little bit, and the sun is going down. So I guess that is the palace there. Reconstruction, of course, and the pond. So I think maybe that is actually the palace. Just what was reconstructed, not the whole thing. And the model that was inside there was showing the whole palace as it was many centuries ago. And then this is the Wolji Pond. So yeah, looks like that is it. You just do a little walk around the pond there. Rain coming down a little harder, getting a little bit chillier. There is still much more to see, so let's see what we can see in the next little while. I think that I'm going to catch another Uber or taxi. It's a mile or so back into town, and skip walking in the rain here.
You're here?
Yes.
사장님 문 한 번만 열어주세요.
Thank you. Oops. Ended up catching a bus there. I called an Uber and it was taking forever, and then the bus came along, so caught that. Town is just another like half a mile or so that way, but out here is the area with the tombs, the little hills. So let's wander through there. Got to get my bearings, figure out where I am relative to what I walked through yesterday, which looked different. So there are some of the mounds out there, but I think this might be where I walked through yesterday, which was a really nice forested area, and you can see the trees up there. Let's give this a try. I'm not sure this is the same place where I was yesterday, but there's something going on around here. Let's investigate. Obviously some depictions of ancient artifacts and pottery. Okay, what is this here? I have no idea. A bunch of shops out there. There was this entrance. Ooh, that could be it there. Yeah, because I was inside this walled area. Okay. Yeah, I think this is going to be it. I remember stepping out and there were a bunch of shops. Derungwon, ancient temple complex. This complex of ancient tombs, located on the flatland in the northwest of Wolseong Palace site, belongs to the kings, queens, and aristocracy of the Silla Kingdom. So again, 57, oh, it says BC, 1st century BC to 935 AD. The name Derongwon means Garden of the Great Tombs. Yes, here we go. This is what I was looking for. It's a much nicer walk than that other area that was kind of desolate, just grass with the tombs. Light is definitely getting rather low, but for one thing, you have all of these strange things, so it's okay to touch them, and look what happens when you touch them. And then it opens up, you get out of the forest, and so it will get a little bit lighter, and then there's a nice area of the tombs and I think some ponds and different things to see. So while I walk along, I thought that I would just give my impressions of South Korea. I will probably be repeating myself a bit from previous videos, but just wanted to say that I've been really enjoying it. It's been not even a week, I think, 6 days. Busan and Gyeongju here, and then tomorrow I journey on, but I don't know where I'm going yet tomorrow. Time for me to figure that out this evening. I have a few places in mind, definitely heading in the direction of Seoul. And as I've mentioned, I have my flight on the 12th in, I guess, 4 days, but looks like I'm going to be skipping that flight. Not only because I want to see more of South Korea, but another reason, which you will find out later on. But I'm considering whether to make a stop along the way or just get to Seoul tomorrow. It might be a spontaneous travel day in which I just get to the station, because for one thing, I'm not certain about the trains going to Seoul, if they could be full, being a Sunday. Weekends definitely seem to be quite busy. So I could just head for the train station, which is a 20-minute drive away from here, and then kind of see what my options are. But anyways, impressions of South Korea are definitely really, really good. It is really a very interesting country to visit and explore. Unique culture, some of the most bizarre foods, and yet they've been really good. So far I've been alternating between hamburgers and Korean food. So first night I had hamburger, second night Korean food, third night hamburger, fourth night Korean food, fifth night, last night, was another hamburger. So we'll see what I get tonight. But the Korean food has definitely been the best. The burgers have been just kind of typical fast food, but it's really a nice mix of easy to get around, great transportation. As I showed in my last video, the train getting here from Busan was just absolutely top notch, and yet so affordable. My room here, a bit more expensive, than in Busan, but overall things are really super inexpensive, especially for what you're getting. The culture is just so respectful. It reminds me a lot of Japan in many ways. The general kind of layout of the towns and cities is similar, and then with all the neon and the cleanliness, organization, modernity. I mean, look at this thing straight ahead. Talk about, you know, state-of-the-art technology. What is this? So down there is the palace and the lake that I just walked around, and then we have this three-dimensional thing. What is it depicting? Looks like a Rubik's Cube. Oh yeah, and now it's moving like a Rubik's Cube. Wild. So I would say if you were going to compare South Korea to any other country, then it is most comparable to Japan. A lot of similar attributes, except at a fraction of the price, you know, like 50%-ish of what you pay for everything in Japan, from hotels to the transportation, the trains. I haven't taken a longer train trip yet, so we'll see how much that is, but you know, the Japanese bullet trains can be very expensive. Okay, out there is the main road, it looks like. Here, another one of the tombs. A big long line for something. And then there was a street that I saw. I think that's got to be it. Yeah, there was this street that looked very lively that I wanted to check out. Looks like they're going inside there. So it looks like it's one of the tombs that you can see on the inside. I'm just so not in the mood for standing in that line there. Free admission, it said. Oh, there is a rock wall in the way and no exit. Looks like I need to go over there probably. Yeah, I'm just really not in the mood for standing in that line. But yeah, overall, then in my short time here, only been here 6 days, and then I spent about a week in the country way back in 2018 to Seoul and Jeju Island. But overall, it is a really good traveling experience. A great mix of being so hassle-free, no people trying to hustle you, no scams so far. Oh yeah, there was the little scam in Seoul, potential scam, in which these two girls came up to me on the street and were trying to get me to go to some spiritual ceremony thing that just sounded super sketchy, and so I passed on that, but that might have been a scam thing there. But overall, just really easy to travel, and yet super interesting, really like nowhere else. A lot to see. For being a small country, it is highly densely populated, lots of towns and cities. And so you could really spend, you know, weeks, months here easy. You get 90 days, whereas Japan you only get 30 days. All right, so I think right over there is where I caught the first Uber earlier today. And then I'd seen this street and was kind of intrigued. So let's check it out. Looks like there will be some good eating options. I'm just not hungry enough for dinner quite yet. Wow, this just goes and goes. Let's take a look at this here. We have a bunch of good-looking dishes here. Okay. Beef market rice soup, kimchi, pork stew, chili chives pancake, some salads, gochujang, bulgogi,
이모 여기는 뭐예요?
201 specialized bude jjigae. Interesting name and interesting dish. Bibigo dumpling soup.
언니 물 괜찮아요?
Special fried food. And then a bunch more.
안 줘도 돼, 줘. 아니면 내가 까고 자.
Korean beef pie rice. Man, just some really different kinds of dishes. Gochujang bulgogi on rice. Pasta. Bacon cream pasta. So, like Italian... Oh man, I'm forgetting now what you call it. Kimchi cheese pilaf. So I guess that's this place here. Great options. All right, let's continue down the main street here. Takeout. Or just get some packaged ramen. Yeah, a lot of different restaurants and various places to eat here. So what the heck is this? I can't tell if that's a dessert or a savory dish. Looks like noodles. Is that like raw beef or something? That looks tasty. That definitely looks sweet there. Tons of takeout. Looks like you got a big skewer there. Kado and Kado. Handmade pave chocolate. You can free tasting. Korean dessert. Little pancakes. This is the happening spot. So I wonder if last night it was busy like this here when it was so quiet over near my hotel, or are Friday nights quiet in general. But I'm getting the sense that this is the place to be, and so maybe there were plenty of people here yesterday and I just thought the whole town was quiet. Some very odd looking things here. Are those just peanuts? No, that's something totally different. Smells really good. Smells like ice cream cones being cooked, basically. Big peanut. Oh, okay, so I said peanuts, so I guess there are peanuts. Big peanut bread, Crocs bread, and then some tasty looking drinks. Handmade blueberry latte. Chom Chom, Asian pub and dining. Pad Thai. Pho, bun cha. So Thai food, Vietnamese, whatever bun cha is. Great looking options here. Phu Phat Phong curry, Pad Thai. Pad Kra Pao Musap, another Thai dish. It's about time for me to get hungry. This is the place to eat. And then some kind of pancakes. I've been seeing people getting these at different places. Looks like maybe a cheese-filled thing. Coffee. And what have we got here? A big vat of like hot dogs. Hippie Monde. Great to see that it's so busy here after last night. Little Forest. Waffles. Ooh, something there smells really good. Wow, what a wild selection of different kinds of foods. This is a trip, how this whole area is away from the town area and it's so different. And it just keeps going and going. Man, oh man, well, the only problem is I'm just not quite hungry yet. I'm like really on the verge. It's also pretty early. It's only like 5 something. What's going on here? They're getting all dressed up in wigs. All right, well, this keeps going and going. Oh, interesting place here. Nice atmosphere. Spicy seafood ramen. Cream jampong. Mentico butter udon. Assorted sushi. So are these all Japanese, I guess? Yeah, it looks like Japanese restaurant. Alright, well, you get the idea. There is more. But I think that I will turn it around, head back to my room, take a break, get hungry, and then head out later and see if I want to get back over here or eat closer to my hotel. And a bunch of other strange looking dishes. Nice to see you.